Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Father-Son Watch Show.
Woo!
I'm John, and this is Elliot. And today we're going to do a watch battle where we both talk about a different watch and we see which one we think is the best. And the rules are at the very end, we will decide, we'll kind of vote together what we think is the best one.
And you can pick down here, too.
Right. You can hit like down there or put a comment which one you think is the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we'll do is Elliot can ask me any question and I can ask him questions too. And we'll see if the other person knows the answer. And if they don't, then maybe you in the comments can put that if you know the answer. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and flip the camera and check out our two watches. Okay, here's the two watches for battle. A Seiko 5 and a Citizen Eco Drive Weekender. So, Elliot, why do you think the Seiko 5 is the best watch?
Well, because it has 100 meters of water resistant and this bezel action.
Oh, I like the bezel.
That sound, I think, is beautiful.
That is beautiful. And I have to admit, it does feel really good when you turn it. Do you think it lines up pretty good?
Yeah, I think it lines up great.
Okay, can you get it lined up perfectly? Looks like it's a little off. I think you went a little too far. So can you twist that bezel again? Give us some more bezel action. Try to get that a perfect match with the triangle. There you go. Slow. Easy does it, cowboy. There you go. Perfect. Very good alignment. Yeah, I've heard on some other watches for Seiko, sometimes the bezel doesn't line up, but this is a really good one. Okay, is there anything else about it you like?
I also just like the dial. I think it looks a lot like the Casio Duro, and I really like the Casio Duro, so I think that's a nice kind of more of an expensive watch, but a really nice one too.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I like about it too, is I do like the dial too, and you can kind of see from the video it's got like a sunburst effect, that it looks really nice in the light. There's like a sunburst effect on there. I do like the mineral crystal. Of course, I wish it was sapphire, but the mineral crystal is pretty good. And it's hard lead, so it's supposed to be a little tougher, Seiko says. But it looks pretty good. I like the day date window. I like that. I love the bezel action like Elliot. And I do like, since this is a mechanical watch, I like being able to see the back of it and kind of seeing it working. You can see that the gears in there working. You can see the jewels. See that rotor turning. I really like that. And the strap's pretty good. Okay, so it's a pretty good watch. Let's go over to the Citizen one. Of course, the Citizen one is, it's not an automatic, so it's not a fair battle. But if you had to decide between the two, you'd have to make that choice. But I like the Citizen one a lot because you can also see the sunburst on that dial. And the dial has a nice kind of just textured design on the dial that's kind of nice. I like the second hand on it too. I like that little pointer.
Yeah, and it's like a popsicle.
Oh, kind of like a popsicle, except for it's a skeletonized pointer. But also it hits all the marks. So it's very accurate. Citizen and Seiko are very accurate watches and well made by each company. I do like that it's an eco drive. I mean, the reason I think I like both of them equally is that you don't have to worry about batteries. The Seiko, you can go ahead and wind it. It automatically winds when you wear it, but you can also wind it manually, so you don't need a battery. This Eco Drive uses sunlight. It uses the inside light or the sunlight to charge the battery. And I do like the strap too. Very comfortable. I love the color because, of course, blue is my favorite color. But it's a really well-made watch. And it also has 100 meters of water resistance as well. So they're equal in that regard.
Yeah.
I think the Seiko might have a better chance of not getting scratched because the Citizen dial is seems a lot bigger and a lot more covered by the glass.
Yeah,
what do you like about it?
Take it. You can also see the glass too. So
okay.
That also affects it. I like the blue on it, of course. Blue is also my favorite color. And then I like the water resistance, but I especially like the dial. I think it's a very pretty dial.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
So we both like certain things about the watches. Ellie, do you have any questions about the Citizen or the Seiko?
Not really, no.
Okay. Yeah, they have a similar band where they're really both comfortable. This has more texture on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if I had to pick a watch that I would want between the two, it would be really tough because the Citizen one is attractive because I wouldn't have to worry about winding it. I wouldn't have to worry about a battery. I could just wear it. I could go swimming in it. To me, that's an advantage over the Seiko. What do you think is the advantages of the Seiko over the Citizen, Elliot?
Well, I think this is a better dive. Let's say you're going diving for 100 meters and then all that 1 to 100 meters. I would probably pick this over this.
Mm-hmm.
This also is 100 meters, but this one's I think is a better kind of dive watch because it has the dial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, the dial.
It looks like a dive watch, doesn't it?
It also looks
what
like
I've watched online is it's a dive style. It's not an actual certified dive watch, but it is a dive style watch. And yeah, it looks more the part if you were doing diving. And we learned this summer, didn't we, that not everybody dives really deep because we had some family members that they went diving, but it was only like, what, 30 meters?
Yeah, so you only really need like 100 meters if you're going to. I like the Omega. There's one Omega. I forget the number of water resistance, but you don't need that.
It wasn't it like 300 or 600? It was, yeah, it was really
something.
way beyond what a normal person would need. So do you still think the Seiko wins the battle?
Yeah, but we haven't even started yet. So.
What do you mean we haven't started?
Well, you have to ask questions. I have to ask questions, and you have to.
Oh, okay. So what questions do you have?
I have. Well, we already kind of answered this, but what's your? If you could only pick one part about the Seiko to keep, what about the Seiko 5? What would you pick on this watch?
Well, I have to say the dial. I really like the way it looks. I like the Seiko logo. I like the bezel is really cool. I have seen this in the dark, and it lights up really bright. It stays bright all night long. It's super bright. Where I do have to admit the Citizen one, it's okay for a while, but by the morning it's really a little dim. So I'd have to say I think the Seiko for the dial would win the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your question for me?
Okay. Let's see. So you already answered the one question. If you were going to go diving, you would pick this one.
Yeah.
If you were just going to go hiking, would you agree that the Citizen might be a better one to go hiking?
Yeah, I agree because it's an eco drive, and then let's say like maybe you stop for maybe even camping if you stop for a minute. If you found a place to sleep and you took this, or even you just kept it in there and you didn't really wear it, and then you didn't have time. Like let's say something happened, you just had to keep going. You didn't have time to wind it. I think this one would be better because it charges by any sunlight and it's an eco drive.
Okay, so I think we would both agree that both watches are very well made. The companies that make them are great. Seiko is awesome, and so is Citizen. I think for swimming and diving and stuff, just shallow diving, not deep diving, I would rather wear the Seiko too. But I do agree that if I went camping, hiking, being outside a lot, the Citizen would be nice for the solar part of it. And that's a pretty cool. So I don't know about you, Elliot. I can't really decide which one I like better. I mean, I would use them for different things, but do you think they're pretty equally matched, or would you still always pick the Seiko?
I would still always pick the Seiko. I mean, I like the band more on the Seiko.
I do like that a little bit better.
I just like the dial a lot more than the Citizen. I would wear the Citizen, like you said, camping or hiking or outdoorsy. But I like just on a day-to-day basis, if you're going to a wedding or stuff like that, or even just your job, I'd probably still maybe wear a Seiko or a Citizen. I'd probably like them equally. But
yeah, I think you're right. I think you've kind of convinced me that I think I would vote probably for the Seiko as the better watch, just the way it looks. I think you've convinced me that just by looking at the dial. But I think sometimes the Citizen would be better in certain situations.
Yeah.
But I have to vote for the Seiko today too. I think the Seiko does kind of win for style and function and just the coolness factor of being an automatic. For a lot of people, kind of like us that are new in the watch world, I would have to say the Seiko wins, but the Citizen gets super high marks.
And if you stick around for just a little bit longer, we will do a lume check.
That sounds good. There's a lume shot, and they both look pretty good. I mean, the Seiko does win, I think, because all the markers are also loomed, and you've got that lollipop going around on the second hands that's loomed as well. The Citizen's fairly bright, but it's only the hour and the minute hand. And like I had mentioned, just from observing both of them, the Seiko one is pretty bright all night long. However, the Citizen one gets pretty dim pretty quick, but both pretty good just for lume in the first part of darkness. So pretty good, pretty good. All right, there you have it. I think Elliot's convinced me that the Seiko is probably the winner. You know, it ticks off a lot of the marks of looking good. The dial's awesome. Great water resistance for most people, you know, everyday activity, swimming and stuff.
It's just because I have a good taste.
And you do have good taste, but you get it from me, so. But anyway, it is really a really nice watch. But the Citizen one is a great watch too, and it's great for a lot of different situations. And it does have more color. However, you know, the Seiko is nice with the black too. And you can change the straps. Yeah. The Citizen one, you could change the straps, but it might not look right and be kind of hard. So the Seiko has a lot more versatility too. Mm-hmm. So Elliot, right? I think Seiko's a winner, and we'll have to review some more down the road. And then what should they do down here? Subscribe and like. And give us any comments, feedback, questions for us about these watches.
Or which one's your favorite, because we all have different opinions.
That's right. Tell us what you like and everything. And then if you have any ideas for other things to talk about, that'd be great. Well, keep ticking, and God bless.